Yeah. Monday we stayed here probably about 10 o'clock that night. I was here watching film and getting the game plan in. Last night, same thing. Got here pretty early and didn't leave till about 10 o'clock again. But it's just like I've been telling y'all, just the process of it. And then that's my process is sticking to that. And, I've watched both games probably about 6 or 7 times now, and just going back through them and something you maybe didn't see the first time you watch, the second time, third time, things that stick out, different indicators. But, now we have the game plan with it so you can implicate that, while you're watching film and what we do with why we're doing things against different looks. And it kind of, like I said, just builds that process and continues on through the week.
This Miami defense has taken out 2 quarterbacks in a row now. What have you seen of them on tape?
Yeah, their front seven is very physical, and I think a lot of that's due to how well their back four play. Their safeties, their DBs, they get after the ball, and they hold up really well in coverage, and their front seven, get after the quarterback. And that's something for me that having the re-ID or make change the mic point, do different things with protection to help myself is something that I've obviously been studying too the last few days, and it's going to be a very physical game up front, and our offensive line, is great. Those are guys that work hard and play well. And, just these last few days, they come to me and been very supportive of me, and especially, Joe and Greco and guys like that, just coming up and, being confident in me and talking to me has been a cool thing for me. But it's going to be, a physical game, and it's going to be exciting.
Cody, has it sunk in yet that you will be starting on Sunday? And, I mean, when did that really kind of sink in?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it has or hasn't or whatnot. I just kind of been sticking to myself and working hard and staying in my playbook and watching film. But, it's like I said, on Monday it's a chance of opportunities, and you get opportunities at different times. And for me, I got to prepare and continue to prepare throughout this week. And I want to give myself the best chance to, take advantage of this opportunity this weekend. And it's definitely a long process, definitely a long week. But for me, I'm just staying focused on what I can control, and that's how I prepare and how I perform.
Is there any advantage that you're kind of a mystery to them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you've told that, everyone has a book on themselves in the NFL, and when you're a rookie, you don't have a book yet. So I don't know, necessarily, how they'll look at it or anything like that. But, it's my first chance to go out there and perform and get my first opportunity to play a game.
Cody, there's always talk about that internal clock a quarterback has and what the guys they have on the line that can get after the quarterback. How confident are you in your ability to know I got to let it go?
Yeah, you have to be smart with it. You can't hold on to the football. You got to go through progression. You got to go through your read. If it's not there, then you got to throw it away or try to run if it's possible. But you don't want to hold on to the football. Especially with how physical their front seven is. They create havoc in the backfield, and they can get after the quarterback, and then that can lead to sacks, sack fumbles, different things like that. So you just want to be smart with the football and give your chance, or you give your team the chance to get to the next down with the ball.
Can you talk about how you ran sort of a similar scheme, a prostyle scheme at USC? So West Coast, you had to make, ID to linebackers and all those different.
Yeah. I was fortunate to be in a pro-style offense. When Lane was there, Kiffin, it was all under center, slow down, break the huddle, all that pro-style offense. And then when Coach Sark took over, it just stayed the same thing, but he sped it up. He kind of got more adjusted and acclimated to college football. Things are speeding up, but it's still the same concept. Terminology was a little different, but that's the same thing here. A lot of the stuff that I did in college is that West Coast offense. You're used to the pro-style offense, but the terminology changes, and some coaches teach it different. And some coaches want certain things on different plays, but being able to look at a play or a concept and say, okay, I've done this before, has helped my process. At this point.
I got to see look different from the preseason, maybe elevate your game a little bit from what you showed then?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you always want to get better. That's the plan in everything you do in life. But I just want to continue to work, and a lot of that will be due to my preparation this week. So I've taken it very seriously, and have spent countless hours already in these past few days in the building, and just staying around here, and just I just want to feel comfortable myself. Going into the game and making sure I have no questions and nothing that might catch me off guard there. I want to kind of be able to expect everything.
Hey, Cody, the USC, you went through so much stuff with all the coaching changes. Do you think that prepared you at all for kind of being force-fed into this just 3 weeks into your career?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, for me, we went through everything you could possibly think of at SC and different situations. But it was like that for me as a kid, kind of growing up, different things, and coming from Bakersfield. And just always was a tough road to get to where I was at. And I was very thankful for that opportunity that I got to go to USC. And obviously not everything went the way we exactly planned out, but that's how life is. You're going to have adversity, you're going to have different things that you don't expect to happen. It's just how you react to them. And I know it might sound cliche, but I really believe in that. You know, and that's something that kept me positive at USC when we had 4 or 5 coaching changes, you know, in 3 years, and all these different things happened. But you know, the guys around you and your teammates are guys that really get you through it. And it was, you know, I was fortunate enough to have a great team there, and I'm fortunate enough to be on a great team here.
Why did you say things were like that when you were a kid?
It was just tough, you know, coming from Bakersfield. It's hard to get recruited. It's hard to get an opportunity to get a chance, and you know, I had to work hard. My parents, my dad was taking me to all over the place, trying to go to different camps and get some money so that we can go to these different camps and get a chance to throw in front of college coaches, or you know, making copies of film tape and sending them all out and stuff. And it was difficult. You know, there was times when you know, people would just say, hey, you're not going to play college. Just, you know, expect to go to the junior college here in Bakersfield, like you know, a lot of our athletes do. And I just, you know, kept telling myself I want to be bigger, I want to be better than that, and I want to continue to work. And you know, it paid off. But I think that's, like I said, just worked for me. Just kind of always having that, you know, that no quit mentality.
How
What did you
vivid,
do for a living?
My dad was a correction officer for 15 years, and then he was injured. And yeah.
how vivid's your memory of your first start at SC?
Well, my first start was against Hawaii, at Hawaii, which was, I mean, it was a cool experience, but you know, I was still splitting reps with the other quarterback that was there at the time, the first 2 games. So my first full-time start was week 3 against Boston College. You know, I kind of got the full-time nod, and it was great. I remember the first play I came out, and we had a touchdown pass. I missed the first throw, and then, you know, instead of being down on myself, I went, and I think the next 15 in a row were completed, and then I missed the last one. So it was a cool experience, but it was something that, you know, that you'll never forget. You know, like a situation like this, something that you'll never forget and you want to take advantage of.
Some guys are better in big games, or, you know, like, almost better than in games than practice. Would that apply to you?
I don't know. I mean, I want to, like I said, just continue to prepare this week, and you have to perform in games, though. You know, you can't get repeats in games. You know, when you get those in practice, and that's why you take those extra reps during practice. And if you miss a throw here and there, you know, you want to take it and get 5, 6 extra throws on that individual route, so you don't miss it on game day. You know, for me, and that's something that I've done during fall camp, and the whole time was staying after and getting extra reps and trying to get, you know, up to speed with this offense and the receivers and getting timing down. But yeah, this week will be big, you know, for that. You know, if you want to perform well on Sundays, you know, it comes from, you know, practice during the week.
Cody, obviously, you know, first NFL start will be a dream come true. But do you think it'll be a challenge, like having to keep emotions in check that way?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I haven't looked at it as a dream come true. For me, I look at it as, you know, I want it to be positive. I want it to be I want to go out and play my best and do everything I can possible to help this team get a win. And obviously, you know, I've worked, like I said, very hard to get here, but you know, you got to perform now, and that's what you have to do in this you know, league. They want performance. You want to play your best and be at your best on Sunday. And for me, like I said, just keep repeating it as a process throughout the week will help me get there.
And your quarterback's Charlie Whitehurst.
Not until yesterday. No, I'd not. No.
Well, what do you think now that you've known him for 18 hours?
He's awesome. He's a great guy. He's you know, a vet, a guy that's been around for a while. He's come in and he's helped me, and you know, I've been trying to teach him. Well, it's a little different now for me being a rookie. You know, trying to teach an older guy, but you know, just kind of helping him out with the offense and everything. But he's great. You know, he knows the game well. He's a good guy. He's been helping us out in the room, and just kind of giving me pointers here and there too already, just from being around for a while.
Tony, was there ever a time in your athletic career or your life where you were the underdog, where you were like the top guy in the team? Or
I mean, maybe high school. Yeah, I mean, I guess high school coming out, going to USC, you know, from Bakersfield, kind of helped me out a little bit. But no, I've never really felt like that or taken that approach, even if it was, you know, relevant, or even if that was the case, or what some people may have thought. You know, I've always kind of looked at where I came from and kind of used that as my motivation, as where I just want to keep going and keep working hard. And for my family, you know, I have a little brother back home that looks up to me and watches me, and I want to continue to work hard, and he's playing football now and stuff, so it's really cool. And that's why I thought it was awesome when Josh said that, you know, when he talked about his boys watching him play. And you know, you never know who's watching. You know, there's guys that, and for me, it's my little brother, you know, and he's watching me, and it's almost like you don't want to let him down. You want to continue to work hard and you know, make your family proud and the people who care about you. He's 16, just turned 17 actually. Dylan,
Did
yeah.
you almost take the basketball route?
Yeah. My freshman year, I played on varsity basketball, and I was a freshman. I went well, and I did all right, and ended up getting a couple California offers and stuff. And you know, I thought that might have been a possibility, but I remember after I played basketball, and then when football finished my sophomore year, my first year of varsity, I told my coach I didn't want to play basketball ever again. But he ended up almost making me play just because he wanted me to stay, and stay in shape in the offseason, do different things. But yeah, basketball was always, one of my first loves. It was difficult. Whatever season it was what I wanted to play, and it was tough going back and forth.
Hey, Cody, you know Corey real well.
Yeah.
Do you think he's kind of gotten over that hump? He struggled a little bit right at the end of the preseason, coming up the hammy, and then week one, the performance he had last week. Do you think that kind of pushed him over the hump?
I just think for Corey, he's a competitor. I don't think he really looks at what's happened before. He just always comes out and always a positive guy, always wants to compete, always wants to work hard, and he's just one of those guys. It means a lot to him, and you can tell. And as a teammate, you love to see that, And for him, last week was obviously a big game for him, but he's never satisfied. He wants to continue to work and keep working hard, and you can just tell that, in his work ethic.